Hello, welcome back, and welcome to lecture 2. So toward the end of lecture 1, we loaded in packages we need for this tutorial. In this lecture, we'll load in the 2 datasets we need and briefly explore the 2 datasets. Okay, so now let's start with loading in the 2 datasets. Before we load in the datasets, it's always good practice to set a working directory to a current local folder. As for me, I will set my local working directory to the local folder Data Science Training. Okay. Now, after that, we can move on to load in the 2 datasets. So the 2 datasets we will need in this tutorial are clean CSV and WDI Milix April 2021 RDS. Please locate these 2 datasets on your device. If you do not have these 2 datasets stored locally, please download them directly from SpecLab's Google Drive. Before we actually load in datasets, it's good practice to always clear our global environment. This section in the upper right corner. Okay, in order to clear the global environment, we need to call the remove function, as you can see here in line 17. By calling the remove function, we see that everything stored previously in the global environment disappeared. This means that the environment is cleared. Now, after clearing the environment, let's use the read function to load in datasets. The clean dataset is stored as a CSV file, so we will use the read.csv function to load in the dataset. Please note, it is always good practice to set the name control of the read.csv function to false, since doing so will prevent unwanted or additional characters getting loaded into a column header. Now, as for the WDI Milix April 2021, we can see that the dataset is stored as a RDS file. So we will need the read RDS function to load in the dataset. Please note, you do not have to set the name control of the read RDS function to false. Now, let's run these 2 lines together. Okay, as you can see, 2 datasets are loaded into the global environment as they appear in the upper right corner. This means that we have successfully loaded in what we need for this tutorial. Let's first take a look at the cow data frame. As we can see that there are only 3 variables in this dataset: country code, year, and millets, which stands for military expenditure. Now, let's take a look at the WDI data frame. As we can see that there's 6 different variables: Milix GDP WDI, GDP WDI, country code, country, year, and millets. How the 6 variables are arranged right now is a bit messy. So let's reorganize the WDI data frame by using the select function to rearrange and keep columns we care about, which are WDI data, country code, country, year, and millets. One thing to keep in mind before we talk about merging the 2 datasets is that the two Milix variable in the WDI dataset and in the cow dataset are 2 different Milix variables. They are not the same. We will talk more about what are they in future tutorials, but for now, please keep in mind that we have 2 different Milix variables stored in the 2 datasets. Okay, this is everything for today's lecture. Looking forward to see you in lecture 3.